This is the Reverend Dr. Gilberto Rosado. Dios le bendiga. Este es Reverendo Dr. Gilberto Rosado. Welcoming you to another broadcast. At this hour, we have our bilingual broadcast, our teaching in English and Spanish. So we ask that you be patient as we translate live on the fly between languages. Esta es la hora que damos la enseñanza en inglés y español y pedimos que tengas pues paciencia mientras que traduzcamos de un idioma al otro. Aproveche y aprende el otro idioma. While we're at it, you can learn the other language as well. Es un beneficio de sintonizarse con nuestro ministerio. It's a benefit, an added benefit I should add, of tuning in to our ministry. Hello and welcome. One moment while we connect everyone to our broadcast. Let's take a second here. Welcome everyone, one and all. We to our new season. Obviously, we're starting up from the longer sabbatical than usual that we take, or the break we take a little bit before Christmas and through the start of the year. We usually start in February at times. It depends, but usually have pastoral conferences then as well. So, but this year we had to move the offices and set up shop, and that extra month it was sorely needed. It turns out, and we're still not finished. And in another 6 months, when this part of the first season of the 2-season year that we have and in the summer break, I still anticipate another relocation of this office, the particular studio that I'm using, into another area. So we're still not going to be set up really for a good part of this year. But in any case, the show must go on, as it says. Dios les bendiga a todos. Esta es la primera clase que vamos a tener después de un sabático extendido por culpa de una mudanza que vino a ser el tiempo de mudar y cambiar las oficinas, y todavía las cosas todavía no están en sus lugares. Y falta todavía otra mudanza del estudio en sí, en otros 6 meses más o menos, que anticipo hacerlo. Y este año va a ser mayormente disrupción por culpa de reorganizar y reformar el estudio. Pues sí, y espero que eso no sea el último tampoco, pero anyway, hasta el futuro próxima. Eso es lo que tenemos. So, damos la bienvenida. We thank you all. Again, as we say in the introduction, it's always a bilingual teaching here that we do, English and Spanish. As I'm speaking Spanish, so as I said in the beginning, we ask that you be patient while I do that, and obviously, you might as well learn that language. That's one language I'm not giving in my polyglot show. Estoy dando clases de polyglot, donde estoy enseñando, compartiendo cómo estudiar otro lenguaje, así, haciendo no algo fuerte, sino bien liviano, cómico a veces, pero para estimular a la persona que aprende el lenguaje. I'm being comical at times with that and playing a role, really, but it's just to show people that you don't need to, have some formal setup to learn a new language. No necesitamos un equipaje, ¿cómo se dice?, profesional o académico, un ambiente académico para exponernos o extendernos a otro lenguaje o idioma. Pues lo podemos hacer así, nomás coger una hora e investigar y tratar, ¿no? Y eso es lo que enseño en esas clases, pero no estoy incluyendo el español. So este es el momento que los gringos pueden aprender su español. So this is really an unofficial Spanish polyglot then. For all of you that may have wanted to learn Spanish, I'm not giving that. But this is your experience. This is one of the resources you can use on a Sunday to learn another language, Spanish, if that's what something you wanted to do. So basically, it's a grab me if you can, or catch me if you can. You don't want to grab me. Okay, así que a little preamble, introduction to today's teaching. Now, today's teaching, first of all, I don't want anything that I say today to be misconstrued as being anti-gay or anti-LGBT or any of this social political terminology out there. Nothing that I say today is anti anything. It is only pro truth and pro peace and pro mental health because I'm a psychotherapist. So I'm not doing anything that I save people from killing themselves. I'm not, nothing that I'm saying today should result in anyone taking their life because of something I say. It's ridiculous. That's not the way to interpret anything that we're saying today. So that's the first caveat. Lo primero que quiere decir que ninguna cosa que hablo hoy debe ser mal construido o tomada mal o por decir que esto es anti gay, anti homosexual o lo que sea, que nada de lo que estoy diciendo es anti nada. Es pro verdad, es pro vida, es pro paz y salud mental. Yo soy psicoterapeuta. Yo no voy a decir cosas que va a causar a alguien a quitarse la vida o deprimirse, en ninguna forma. So, recuerde que si algo hablo y usted lo tomen de ese modo, usted está mal, no lo tome mal. Está equivocado, no está entendiendo lo que estoy tratando de decir. So that's the first thing. Y tomar el dominio propio de su cabeza, de su mente. And the thing about that is that, see, when you see that you're taking it in the wrong way, you have to stop yourself. Yes, this is a matter of you stopping yourself, having control over yourself, your mind, your thinking. So please do that, exercise that restraint and self-discipline mentally so that you can handle these matters in a reasonable manner. Así que con ese control personal e integral mental, usted puede empezar a dominar las cosas, a tomar las cosas correctamente sin ser de aborotarse, que es donde está el peligro. All right, so I wanted you to understand that first off so we can get that cleared out. Hay cosas que voy a hablar que va a ser en fase y ciertamente cuando estoy en el fase, en el Veina, no se va a ver claridad del tercer piso. ¿Entienden? Hay que empezar parte a parte. So, no juzgue antes que se oiga todo. So obviously, as I'm going bit by bit, part by part, there's going to be parts that you may not like to hear. But again, you know, when you're building a building, you can't build everything at the same time. You're building floor by floor, filling it out. Don't judge it until it's all done, you know. So until I'm all finished and progressing through the different steps and things that we're going to be looking at, then then you can come to a conclusion, but not in the middle, not in the beginning, definitely, and not in the middle. Just hear it out and and deal with it. Don't become here defensive or anything like that. No ven aquí in defensa because this is not the place for it. This is a place for education. Aquí estamos aprendiendo, esto es educación, no es aquí para defender su causa. Nadie está, I'm not defending my cause. I don't have a cause to defend except for truth. That's it. And it's not truth like what other people say. It is truth is 2 plus 2 equals 4. That's what I'm going to defend here today. Así que la única cosa que se está defendiendo aquí es la verdad. 2 y 2 son 4. No la verdad que habla mucha gente que siempre te dicen que tienen la verdad, que ellos están en la verdad. No. Pero 2 y 2 son 4. Eso es lo que estoy defendiendo aquí. So that's one thing that we're going to absolutely, defend here. So, and that is important for both sides. And let me just say the end in the beginning is that there's no one in the audience today, either you're gay or you're not gay, you're pro gay or you're anti gay. None of y'all should leave this program today feeling bad. Okay, so I'm letting you I'm letting you off the hook. None of y'all should feel bad about this whole program today. This is a good and wholesome educational program. Esto es un buen ¿cómo se dice eso en español? Wholesome. Saludable discurso hoy para todos los campos involucrados. So, eso lo estoy diciendo para que sepan que no tienen que temer este programa, sino abrazarlo, educarse donde no estaban educados sencillamente y seguir hacia adelante. Right? So there's no judgmental here, no hay juicio aquí juzgándote, no hay condenación, there's no condemnation here. Okay, there's only love of our fellow man. Aquí solo hay amor para nuestro prójimo, como nos enseñó Jesucristo, the same that Jesus Christ said and taught. Okay, so that's what's happening here today. Now, so that being said, I'm not showing anything on screen to make anyone scared about their little kids. But what we're going to talk about today is adult material at times. So we'll be speaking about that. And it's important that you discuss these things with your children. Es importante lo que no voy a enseñar cosas gráficas hoy ni nada de eso, de esas cosas. That you got to pay for in Arithmetic University. Esas cosas tienen que pagar por ellas en la Universidad de Arithmetic que tenemos. Pero lo que vamos a hablar son cosas que debe de hablar con sus hijos en un punto a otro, en un momento a otro. And I think a lot of the issues that are in society, you know, are going to affect, if they haven't already, affect your children. Not discussing these things, and any church basically that doesn't deal with these things is doing a disservice to your children, to the flock, and to the future generations of flocks. You just simply putting your head into the sand. Aquella iglesia que no están dirigiéndose a estas cosas, estos temas, no solo de hoy, de lo que voy a cubrir en esta sesión o sazón, están escondiendo su cabeza en la arena y es un triste pena, un abandono a las generaciones. Hacerlo. And in a way, it's the reason we're here today. In fact, the just the simple casting off of this issue throughout the ages has created the situation we're in, and not to speak about those churches that fomented the situation we're in. Okay, well, I'm not going to get into pointed figures, but you know the story. Nosotros sabemos que hay hasta iglesias que hayan fomentado la situación en que estamos nosotros hoy día. Entonces, pero son las iglesias que quieren condenar, quieren repulsar, expulsar las personas que tienen este estilo de vida. Pero después hemos encontrado que ellos mismos son los que han sido los protagonistas. No voy a enseñar los dedos, pero mijo, esas son las cosas. Nosotros, la iglesia ha causado mucho daño. Aquí habla la verdad. The church has created a lot of damage here. Instead of doing the right things and doing good because of ignorance, por la ignorancia, los tiempos de atrás, we have a tendency in the religious circles to call the ignorance of the 1600s our creed of belief and our doctrine. Tenemos la tendencia en los campos religiosos de llamar a la ignorancia de los 1600 nuestra misión y nuestra conducta de fe, nuestra doctrina, nuestro credo. Then you have the groups that have like the Ten Commandments. Tenemos los grupos que tienen los 10 mandamientos, la ley como su credo, su creencia. Y es no la ley, pero la ignorancia de la traducción o de la tradición o de la práctica, la interpretación de aquellas cosas es la ignorancia de los tiempos atrás. Y todavía quieren imponer esa ignorancia sobre el pueblo de hoy. So we see that also that in the ancient religions, the ones who like the Ten Commandments and all that established themselves way back, also have a type of ignorance as well, because some of the, not that the law or anything that God said is ignorance, but the way people interpret it and have taught it, yes. And they want to maintain that people in ignorance still, because you have no solution, do you? No tienen otra solución, solo que Dios dijo. They only say that God said, and it's really what you think that God said, because that's what you have to say. Solo dicen que Dios dijo, y en realidad es lo que yo creo que Dios dijo. Porque no están entendiendo lo que Dios dijo. You know, they're not understanding what God said, but they say God said. Just because he said this doesn't mean, doesn't mean that the this is commonly understood or taken the same. No quiere decir que si Dios dijo esto, esto es tomado igualmente por todas las personas y por todas las edades, o los tiempos. Y entonces, lo que hay son tradición. That's what you call, and what Jesus called tradition. These are traditions. God said this, but man made traditions based on what God said. El hombre hizo tradiciones sobre lo que Dios dijo. So this is where you have to be careful. Nosotros ahí es donde hay que tener la precaución, tener mucha caución ahí, porque ahí es donde surgen los problemas. Ahí es donde surgen las malas, ¿cómo se llama? Las interpretaciones erradas. Hay que tener mucho cuidado. So we have to have pay great attention to that. And so let's get started. You woke up one morning and you wake up one morning to find out, whichever way, that one of your family members is homosexual. La planteación hoy, en la enseñanza de hoy, es que te levantaste una mañana a descubrir que uno de sus familiares es homosexual. ¿Qué se hace? What is it that we're supposed to do? And so what we have to do is first realize something. Lo que tenemos que realizar es esto. First of all, that whatever situation that you see or discover or hear, que cualquier situación que tú ves, descubre o oyes relacionado a un familiar suyo, related to a family member of yours, it's already done. Okay. That's the first thing. Lo primero es entender que ya se hizo. Ya es lo que es. All right. So, in other words, there's nothing that you're going to be able to do on the get-go that's going to change anything. No hay nada que tú puedas hacer en instante que va a cambiar alguna cosa. It is, however, empero, the way you react, la manera que tú reacciones, va a tener efectos graves. The way you react will have grave effect. So you have to be very careful. Hay que tener mucho cuidado aquí. People just don't understand the delicate nature of nature. La gente no entiende la delicadeza, o la delicadeza se dice, I'm not sure, de la naturaleza. La naturaleza es delicada. Okay? Y se impacta, mira, con poquitas cosas empieza a impactarla. With a little bit of anything, of any energy or effect, nature begins to get affected. So you have to be careful how you react and why you're reacting, and how you're going to. Y el por qué vas a reaccionar como vas a hacerlo. We have to separate, like the Bible does, by the way. Tenemos que separar como hace la Biblia, como se dice, el pecado, como se dice comúnmente, no estoy diciendo nada más, sino lo que se dice la gente comúnmente. Separar el pecado del pecador. Okay? Entonces, nosotros tenemos que, we have to make a differentiation between the sin and the sinner. All right? So the Bible makes the differentiation. Okay? So what kind of differentiation does the Bible make? We're going to look at that today. But the Bible does make a differentiation. So you also, according to Scripture, if you're a person that believes in Scripture, if you're religious, if you go to church on Sunday or Saturday, whatever it is you believe, you need to pay close attention to what the philosophy of, in our case, what I'm going to talk about is the Christian Bible, and for that matter, the Torah. You have to make the differentiation according to the biblical example. Hay que hacer la diferencia de acuerdo a lo que dice la Escritura, la inferencia, la enseñanza en la Escritura. And you have to be very careful. In general terms, you remember that God loves everyone. God created everyone. So that's the first thing. The first thing in the Bible, Genesis 1:1, Genesis 1:1, Genesis 1:1, God created the heavens and the earth. En el principio, right? En el principio creó Dios los cielos y la tierra. Genesis 1:1. God created man, right? Genesis 1:26. Dios creó al hombre en el capítulo 1:26. Así que, right there, what does the Bible teach right there? That we are His creation. La Biblia enseña que nosotros somos la creación de Dios. Eso incluye a todos nosotros, incluye al que es homosexual. It includes the one that is homosexual as well. You understand? As a human being, he was created by God. Not the homosexuality, but he or she as a person. Ellos como personas fueron creados por Dios. See? Now, let me ask you a question. ¿Cuál es tu relación con tal persona? Lo que tienen que preguntar. Well, you have to ask this first question. What is your relationship with said somebody? Is it about sin? Is your relationship with that person sin? Or having to deal with sin? Usted, la relación suyo con una persona que es familiar, su relación es pecado, la comunicación es de pecado, el pecado tiene que ver con su relación con esa persona. Y la respuesta sencillamente es claro que no. The clear answer is no. Obviously, your relationship with that person is not based or having anything to do with sin. La relación suya con todas las personas, su familia, es una de familia, no de pecado. So our relationships with family members, as well as anyone else on the planet, is not with sin, it is that they are our family, and as Christ puts it, our neighbor. Okay, y como dice Cristo, nuestro prójimo. No dice el otro pecador de la esquina. The Bible doesn't refer to the neighbor as the other sinner next door. He says it is our neighbor. Sencillamente, it's simply our neighbor, nuestro prójimo. Y si es nuestro familiar, es nuestro familiar. And if it's our family member, it's our family member. It never stops being until death. Hasta la muerte, nuestro familiar nunca deja de ser familiar. See? So again, as people have, they let certain things interfere with reasoning. La gente muchas veces deja que cosas interfieren con lo que es el razonamiento. And certain things are not violated. Algunas cosas no son violadas, como en la relación entre familiares, in terms of what they are. Our relationships in family members, that's what they are to us. They're always going to be our mother, brother, sister, father, uncle, aunt, whatever it is. That's what they're always going to be. See, that's what defines them, nothing else. Siempre nuestros familiares van a ser definidos por la relación que tienen como familiar, no con otra cosa. Es un error usar otras cosas para definir nuestros familiares. So it's an error as well to bring other things into our family relationships, to label them or to characterize them. They are simply mother, father, brother, sister, son and daughter. That's the relationship, and nothing in the world is going to change or is able or has the power at all to change that reality. So no hay nada en el mundo entero que puede cambiar la realidad, que esto es mi hermano, esta es mi hermana, este es mi padre, mi madre, este es mis hijos, mi hija, mi hijo, etcétera, etcétera, mi primo, etcétera, etcétera. Right. So again, you have to get this straight. It's very important. Now, some of you may be thinking, oh, yes, that is important. Because you know why I'm saying that, right? Ustedes saben que es muy importante, ya algunos pueden discernir lo gran importancia que tiene lo que estoy diciendo, right? It's the same reasoning, see, because if you look at and respect the relationship the way it's supposed to be, then there should be no problems in the family. No, si uno respeta las relaciones familiares como se debe de hacer, no permite eso, el desorden entre los familiares, right? Porque cada uno respeta el otro. Because within the family structure and family relations, there should be mutual respect of each relation. Mutual respect. Okay? That is primordial. Those are the first things. Estas son las cosas primeras. Las primeras cosas, las cosas más importantes. We're getting into the sticky part of it, and I'm not trying to make a pun here. Because it's the beginning of the breaking down of what is, the definitions of what is, that begins to corrupt the situation. Es muy importante lo que estoy diciendo porque es el principio de descomposición de las definiciones de las relaciones entre familiares que empieza el desorden que sucede. ¿Okay? O sea que si una persona tiene disciplina en sí, integridad y respeta las relaciones que deben ser, como deben ser, entonces no habría corrupción entre las familias. So if people, family members would respect the relationships as they're supposed to be, as they're defined to be, mother, daughter, father, son, father, daughter, all the relations, brother, sister, cousin, this and that. If they respect it, then that prevents or inhibits corruption within the family structure. Así que esa cosa restricta o inhibe que se descompone la estructura familiar. So, getting back to the discovery point, volviendo al punto de descubrimiento, how am I supposed to react? ¿Cómo usted debe reaccionar al descubrir, a ser informado sobre una persona cerca de ti o un poco distanciado, pero familiar? ¿Cómo debes reaccionar? Debes de respetar, primeramente respetar la relación familiar. So the first rule of your reaction in a case of discovery of a homosexual person or an act is to remember that this person, who they are in your family, is simply, you have to be the first to maintain the order, the respect of, and honor the relationship. Okay, very important, because we hear so many people say, I disown you. Oímos mucha gente hablando que tú no eres mi hijo, tú no eres mi hija, que esto, otro, whatever. I'm saying some stupid garbage like that. It's really stupid. La gente son muy brutos diciendo que ya tú no eres mi hija, no eres mi hijo, tú no eres de mi familia. Like, they have this, they stop saying stupid things, because all you're saying is, yeah, you were right. That's all you're saying. Todo lo que tú estás diciendo a esa persona es que sí, tú estabas bien en hacerlo, en desrespetar el orden familiar. Tú estabas bien en hacerlo, porque yo mismo lo estoy haciendo ahora contigo, right? So you're telling them that disrespecting the family structure, the family relation, was right, because now I'm doing it to you. I'm kicking you out of my family. See? It's not a tit for tat. En las relaciones entre familiares, no debe ser, en inglés se dice tit for tat, que quiere decir que, tú hiciste eso, entonces yo voy a hacer aquello. Tú hiciste esto, entonces yo voy a hacer esa cosa. En inglés se llama tit for tat. Entonces, nunca debe ser hecho entre relaciones familiares. Tú eres mi madre, no importa lo que suceda. Tú eres mi padre, tú eres mi hijo, tú eres mi hija. You're my mother, you're my father, you're my son, you're my daughter, you're my brother, you're my sister. No matter what happens, you continue being what you are in relation to me. ¿Sí? Sí, no importa lo que sucede, tú sigues siendo lo que tú es en la familia, en relación conmigo, tú sigues siendo esto, otro. Also, by the way, I'm taking questions, so don't be afraid. If someone has a question, just put it in the chat. I should be seeing all the chats here. But don't be afraid to chat, to ask the question, and I will be able to answer it to you. I have here, if you're on Good Game and the VK thing, D Live, YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope. all of you guys can chat with me. I'm not seeing Facebook for some reason here, but I presume that uh, I will be able to see you on Facebook to chat, and I'm just going to test that out right now to see if that is so. And because I don't see the Facebook, or it might be that, yeah, I can see Facebook chat. So even if you're on Facebook, you can make the question. Again, don't be afraid. No one's going to say it's you. You're asking for a friend, of course, aren't you? Nosotros estamos aquí para preguntar y aprender. So puedes preguntar por un amigo. So, alguien que tú conoces. Y solo para educarse. I ask questions all the time. I ask questions because where else are you going to learn it? It's not like I walk around with people that are of this nature or that nature. So, yeah, listen, you got an opportunity to ask a question, you might as well ask it, because that's nothing to do. You just need to know what you want to know. Así que nunca se debe sentirse mal de preguntar una pregunta, porque uno quiere entender, no tiene alguien directo para preguntarlo, entonces puedes hacer la pregunta. So, let's get back to the point. So, the first reaction, la reacción que debes tomar siempre es mantener su relación familiar. So one of the most important things to remember is that the first reaction is always to reaffirm your family relation. And that goes with everything. Every type of problem or situation you can imagine, cualquier tipo de problema, situación que tú puedes imaginar, lo primero lo que debe hacer es reafirmar la relación familiar. Okay, that's so that the other person knows that, you know what, no matter what, I'm still here for you. Tú sabes. La otra persona, la persona que pecó, tienen que saber que no importa qué pasa o qué sucedió, tú sigues siendo igual para ellos o hacia ellos. And the important reason for this is for the following. It really has more to do with helping set things right than anything else. Esto tiene más que ver con arreglando la situación, poniendo las cosas en orden, que otras cosas. Y es para que tú no te conviertes en el problema. So the main reason to do that is so that you do not become the issue. Because the issue doesn't have to do with you. El problema no tiene que verse contigo. Right? So if you remove yourself from the equation. A lot of people get themselves into it. It's a mistake. Don't do that. Mucha gente se meten en el problema, y ese es el error, because in that process you become the problem instead of someone trying to help. Así que en esa situación tú te conviertes en el problema. Si te metes mucho en el problema, tú te conviertes a el problema en vez de ser una persona que puede ayudar. Okay, so you have to really be careful in how you maintain your relationship. So maintain the relationship. That's how you do that. Hay que mantener la relación. Cuando tú pierdes esa relación, pierdes su posición. When you remove yourself, if you lose yourself from your position, I'm saying it because that's what I said in Spanish. When you put yourself into the problem and become the problem, you have removed yourself from your position. And this goes very, very important for any of the relationships, because all of the relationships have something to say. You understand that? En todas las relaciones de la familia, tú tienes algo que decir. No es el mismo que el otro, pero tienes algo. So, for example, you see, what the father has to say is unique in the family relational picture. What the mother has to say is unique in the family's, structural picture, relational picture. What a brother has to say is unique. And what a sister has to say is unique. It's not the same as what the father. Sister says something, it's not the same as the father saying something or the mother saying something, right? It's different. But yet they have some weight in their relation, whatever that relationship is. Así que cada uno, cuando la hija dice algo, no es lo mismo que cuando el padre dice algo o la madre dice algo, es diferente, ¿verdad? Pero tiene impacto en su relación como hermana, como hermano, como hijo, como hija, como padre, como madre, como tío, como primo. You understand? So, even though it's not the same thing, aunque no sea igual, con el peso igual, pero en su lugar, en su relación, in its place and in its relationship, it has validity, tiene validez, tiene peso, it has weight according to its relational reality, de acuerdo a su relación real, ¿verdad? Eso es cierto. But again, you have to stay within your relation. That's what you have to do. You have to be careful. You can't be, trying to tell them like you're their mother. You're not their mother. If you're their sister, you're not their mother. Si tú eres la hermana de fulano, tú no eres la madre de fulano. So, tú tienes que tener cuidado de no extender, no tratar de tomar más peso de lo que tú eres. So, each person has to be careful not to overstep their relational reality. In other words, a daughter cannot come on to her brother like the mother, like if you were his mother. No, you're his sister. Okay, so don't try to do that because then you become what? You become the problem, and you have lost your positioning and your relational impact because you do have a relational impact as the sister. So you have to play the cards that you have. Si la hija, si una hermana trata de ser como madre a un hermano, ya, esto, otro, bla, bla, bla. Tú estás saliendo de su sitio, de su posición como hermana y te estás convirtiendo a una madre. Y como decir, si fuera madre de esto, no eres. Entonces lo que está haciendo es convirtiéndose al problema, a un problema. Y perdiste su posición como hermana. Como hermana tiene validez, pero tiene que mantenerte como hermana. Oye, hermano, ¿qué pasa? Yo estoy aquí, quiere hablar conmigo. Cualquier cosa. Sabes que yo soy tu hermana. You understand? See, you keep it. You have to keep it. I'm your sister. You can talk to me. Like we used to. We used to go out to the back. We used to sit there and talk about things. Come talk to me. It's all right. I'm your sister. Okay, I love you. You have to stay within your relational boundaries. It's very important because it is the premise upon any truth and validity that you can have. Es tan importante mantenerte en su contornos de la relación porque es en la validez. Si hay algún validez en el punto, qué cosa, en su opinión de lo que es la homosexualidad y lo que sea. Si hay algún validez, usted tiene que mantener su validez con mantener su lugar. Porque si no, se perdió toda la salsa. If you don't do it, if you don't maintain, if you're the sister, if you do not maintain yourself as a sister, then you have lost the whole thing. See, what most families do is that they go overboard. Lo que hacen muchas familias es que las personas se reaccionan demasiadamente, ¿cómo se dice? Fuertemente, fuera de su relación, fuera de su papel. And there's a lot of people don't understand what their roles are. Actually, a lot of parents don't understand what their role is. Muchos padres no entienden lo que es su papel. Muchos padres mal entienden lo que quizá hicieron sus padres con ustedes. And I can see that because it's something that I have with my kids here too. I can see that they easily can misconstrue what I'm doing because they see it indifferently than what I'm doing. Los hijos tienden a no ver la realidad de lo que está haciendo el padre y realmente ellos pueden entonces tener una equivocada noción de cómo es el padre. They'll have a what do you call it, a mistaken perspective of what their father is or how their father is. Okay, so that I can see that easily, it can happen very easily where people have an infantile view of things, because when you're an infant, cuando uno es un infante, uno ve las cosas distinto que cuando uno es grande. You see things differently than when you are an adult, when you're a little kid, because you don't understand why daddy is saying and doing what he's saying and doing. You see, you don't understand why mommy is telling you to do this or that, right? You just say, oh, she's mean. And that's what it is to be a mother, is to be mean. No. Los niños no entienden por qué papá está así. Y por qué papá dice y habla así y hace así y es fuerte. Entonces, como mami hace, siempre está diciendo esto, te molesta. Los niños no entienden y desafortunadamente muchos adultos no entendieron sus padres. And a lot of you guys didn't understand your father. Not that they weren't as you think they were. I'm not saying that. In many cases, they are as terrible as you see them as. En muchos casos son tan horribles como tú lo ves. Pero estoy diciendo que para enseñar a los hijos, a veces hay que ser fuertes en su carácter, su voz. Hey, hurry was better than, hey, will you stop that, please, y'all? Hey, stop. Okay, so now and then the kid will look at you and say, he's grumpy. He's grumpy, right? So they get that understanding now, and I do that a lot. I'll give them, hey, stop that, and I'll say it in German. Halt and get mine dachshund. All right. So, but I'm doing it as a teaching, not as what it appears to be. But since they're infants, they don't understand that. They don't see that. It's not that I'm angry per se. I'm angry like if I care. It's that they need to be instructed. Los niños tienen que aprender a ser instruidos y muchas veces malinterpretan Y muchos padres no saben hacer esto. Lo que estoy diciendo, muchos padres no saben hacerlo. Esperan para ser enojados. Yo no espero para ser enojado. Yo soy enojado para enseñar hoy, ahora. Pero no estoy enojado. Creo que entienden. So I act angry, but I'm not angry. But I put my face. This. What are you doing? Understand? And they say he's angry, but they're wrong. I'm not angry. I'm just teaching. I'm putting attention that what you're doing here is absolutely wrong. Okay? But again, what they're doing, even if they keep doing the wrong thing, you understand? Capiche? So, ellos no entienden que aunque ellos siguen haciendo lo malo, a mí, la vida, ellos son los que van a ser afectados en la vida, no soy yo. Pero estoy trayendo instrucción a través de mi manerismo para que ellos aprenden que hasta este nivel no empuja más, porque ahí hay peligro. And as they grow older, they'll see that the danger is what they're creating from themselves, not from daddy. Not from daddy getting angry. It's from actually, if you keep going, more problems are going to ensue for yourselves, for them, not because of daddy. See? But in the beginning, the smaller they are, then it's daddy, then it's mommy. You're going to have dad problems with daddy and mommy. But as they grow older, they have to begin to see that this is not an issue of daddy and mommy. It's an issue that this doesn't make sense. And with that, we're going into the next point. Así que lo que pasa es que cuando un nene está infante, no, ellos tienen que sentir que mamá y papá van a tener problemas si llego a este extremo. Pero después que vayan creciendo, ellos deben tener capacidad para entender que no es mami y daddy que tienen problema ellos, sino que esto causa problemas en general si yo sigo más del límite este. So, ese es el punto, esa es la cosa que debemos de estar enseñando. And then this is where I say that parents actually don't know what their role is, because they think it's like them. And once you think that you let kids go until you're bothered, that is wrong raising of children. Así que si tú estás criando los hijos en una forma que hasta que me molestan a mí, entonces yo me paro, arreglo este asunto. Si esa es su manera de criar los hijos, tú estás muy mal, porque ese no está haciendo su trabajo. Tú solo estás viviendo tu vida y que no te molestan los chamacos. That's what's happening, is that you're living your life until these kids get on your case. And that's not raising children. Eso no es criando niños. Eso es un abandono. Okay? That's an abandonment. What are they going to do when you're no longer around? ¿Qué van a hacer los niños cuando tú ya no estés? Ya está papá fuera del retrato. Ahora hago lo que quiero hacer. Isn't that what you said too? Now daddy's not around, so now we'll do whatever I want to do. See that? That's wrong teaching. It's like stupid. Eso es enseñanza estúpida. Okay? Pensar, hacer las cosas hasta que te molestan. No. Tú no estás educando los hijos. You're not teaching the children how to manage their lives. And this is where the problems begin. Y esto es donde comienzan los problemas. Entonces nosotros estamos criticando esto, hizo esto. Then we're criticizing this one did this one did that. But the problem is that the parents aren't raising their children right. That's where it begins. How are you raising your child? How dare you? Then you're going to blame the kid? Really? Tú vas a culpar al muchacho, a la muchacha. And now we're going to what, cast this one out the family because they're homosexual. Ahora tú vas a echar fuera esta porque es homosexual. ¿Cómo? Después que tú le arruinaste la vida, tú fuiste. You're the one that ruined their lives. Didn't teach them squat. No le enseñaste nada. So how are you going to condemn them? Assuming that there's something to condemn, right? I'm not saying there is something to condemn, but assuming, so how are you going to condemn for your own failure, por su propio fracaso? We're supposed to raise the child. Nosotros estamos supuestos a criar los muchachos. During the bringing up, the raising up, is supposed to have, the child is supposed to be able to make good decisions. That's the job of mamá and papá. Es el trabajo de mamá y papá que los hijos tengan conciencia, que tengan respeto y que hagan buenas decisiones, que respetan las relaciones entre familia, right? That they maintain relations the way they're supposed to be in the family and with y afuera de la familia también. Hay relación y cómo se debe de comportarse and how relations should be handled. So these things are the things that your children are supposed to learn. If you just get upset when you get upset, then you have failed them. That's the sign. Si tú criaste los hijos al momento que te enojaron, que te hicieron, entonces tú estás criando los hijos equivocadamente. No te sorprende de lo que sucede. Don't be surprised of what happens along the way. That's what I say. You were just raising them according to your own feelings. Tú estabas criándolos de acuerdo a sus propios sentimientos. No lo estaba educando. So that takes it to help prevent unwanted things to happen with your family members. There has to be education. Not feelings. Not until you get angry, you're not going to do anything, and you're not going to teach them, because that's what's happening. You're avoiding teaching the child until they get on your nerves. Absolutely the wrong way to go. Usted no está enseñando a los muchachos, tú estás criando a los muchachos hasta soportándolos, sufriéndolos hasta que te enojan. Y eso no es criar a los hijos. Eso es prepararlo para que te rompen el corazón cuando llegan a las edades más altas. And all you're doing is preparing them to break your heart later on. Okay, so that is the reality. I deal with realities. So I don't have any, I don't want to talk too much about the family structure that I have other than what I'm teaching you now. But I have reasons, I have reasons to be not shocked when certain things occur already in the lives of the children that I'm raising, because I have an understanding of where they're coming from. Porque yo tengo un entendimiento de dónde vienen estos hijos que tengo aquí. Y a mí no me sorprende si algo en el futuro sucede, ciertas cosas. Porque yo entiendo de dónde vienen estos muchachos. Yo hago, de acuerdo a lo que te estoy enseñando, lo que te estoy diciendo, de acuerdo a eso, hago lo posible para enderezar lo torcido. Pero es un pretzel mismo, un pretzel es un pretzel. Así que una de esos pretzels sigue siendo pretzel la vida. Tratando de enderezar. There's just so much you can do without breaking it, you know. Hay tanto que uno puede hacer sin romperlo. So, ese es el balance que uno tiene que hacer, especialmente en mi posición. Ustedes saben que yo he adoptado a mis hijos. That I have adopted my children. So it's a little different scenario that I deal with. But I do know that I Yo sé que yo no puedo romperlos. But you guys that have them from sperm, there's no reason why you cannot straighten out that tree. Así que los que te han criado desde la esperma, no hay razón de que no pueden enderezar ese árbol. Okay? La cosa es que hay que saber criar bien. The thing is that you have to know how to raise your children well. And that is not afforded when you weren't raised well yourself. Um, no, usted no lo puede hacer solo si tú no fuiste criado bien, correctamente usted mismo. And times are changing. Y los tiempos se están cambiando y hay que tener más educación para hacerlo hoy. No es que yo voy a criar como mis padres me criaron. Está ni nada. Tus padres criaron un tiempo que era más fácil en términos de los asuntos que estamos bregando hoy. You know, your parents raised you in a time was a little more easier to accomplish good results in the environment, because the environment was a lot different than the one you're raising your kids in now today. You have to realize that. So it's inadequate for today's society. Es inadecuado como tus padres te criaron para la sociedad de hoy. So there's new things going on and new things that you have to be careful about. Okay. So let's go to we've established family relationship. We've established maintaining always, the primordial rule is to maintain the family relationship. That's what you're concerned about. That's it. Everything else is everything else. Family relationship must be maintained. Because you're dealing with, and reason for that is that you're not only that it establishes the validity of your argument, of your position, but it also gives the person in question something to hold on to, brother. Because if you wipe out the only sense and only reason that they've had all their life long since they were infant, you wipe out that core, they have nothing else. Okay? So don't do that. That's like, man, they don't know how to swim. Saying, yeah, I don't know how to swim, so you kick them off the boat. Stupid. It's just stupid. Así que ustedes tienen que entender la otra razón por preservar la relación. Es que ellos, desde su crianza, ustedes, la familia, ha sido lo único, lo verdadero, lo que le han cuidado, lo que le han ayudado. Y entonces ahora que fracasó, que hizo algo que no, whatever, que no está de acuerdo ustedes entonces lo echan para afuera o desconectan esa realidad, esa verdad en su vida. Entonces no queda más nada, ¿entiendes? Es como tú estás castigando, el hijo no sabe nadar. Están en un barco, una navegación, no sabe nadar, no sabe nadar. ¿Qué pasa? Tú no sabes hacer lo que estás supuesto a hacer. Pues lo echaste del barco. ¿Qué idiota? Tiene que ser idiota. Le está, le está quitando lo único que le puede salvar la vida. Don't do that. No haga eso. Eso es locura, chico. Locura. Don't do that. Oh my goodness. Hay tantos, yo sé, que en la comunidad, whatever, I don't know how to say these things in Spanish, hay personas sufridas que no tienen sus familiares, no tienen el cariño, el amor de sus padres, de su familia. Eso es un desastre. It's a disaster. I know that there are many in the LGBTQ or whatever community that I'm doing that respecting. That don't. It's just I don't. It's not something I talk about all the time. So, but I know that a lot of these people are suffering deep within themselves, deep. That's a deep scar. They're ripped and so often torn apart because, that's all the kid has when they're growing up is family. And then you guys just throw it out the window. You kick them out. destroying any sense of stability in their lives and any reason to have it. It's a complete disaster. That is a total bad thing to do. Absolutely. It's just cruel. Eso es algo cruel. Man, and it's worse than anything they could have ever done. Y es peor que cualquier cosa que ellos hubieran hecho. Peor. Terrible. Now, I don't want you guys, anyone who had the situation in your family and you did that, I don't want you to just feel horrible about yourself. Again, we're not talking about guilt here. No estamos hablando de sentirse uno penoso. Oh, eso ya lo hice, ya fracasé. Ay, esto es para educarte. Okay? This is for educational purposes. What you need to do, if anything that I say strikes at your heart, it's like a knife through your heart and whatnot. It's not about me. Don't make me your problem. It just simply, we all make mistakes. Nosotros todos hacemos errores. Okay, but the bigger error is not fixing it. El error más grande es no arreglarla. Okay, because we can always, make a mistake and cut ourselves. We get a band-aid, we clean the cut there and say, I'm sorry, my goodness, what kind of, I'm done with this knife or with the scissors, and whatnot, and we get help with it. We can't do it ourselves, and we fix the problem. And you know what? And forgive yourself. And move on. Nosotros buscamos cuando nos cortamos y buscamos ese alcohol o lo que sea para curar, y limpiar esa herida y taparlo, o si no podemos hacerlo nosotros, buscamos ayuda profesional, ¿verdad? Y que lo curen, lo tapen ahí, y uno dice, ay, qué bruto fui con esa cuchilla, con esa tijera, lo que sea, y nosotros nos perdonamos y seguimos para adelante. So, eso es lo que debe hacer. Si cualquier cosa que yo digo que te da, usted hizo un error, ok, ya pasó. La cosa es que vamos a hacer de ahora para adelante. Okay, and the good thing about the relationship issue is that it's almost always you can be repaired, almost. If you just get on with speaking from the bottom of your heart and doing the right thing. Si uno habla de su corazón, las cosas, este daño que puede haber hecho en la familia, lo puede arreglar si uno habla desde su corazón y en su papel, respetando su relación familiar y hablando y confesando el error, y puede arreglar ese puente y restablecer esa relación. Y eso es lo que tiene que ser, y hacer, ¿cómo se dice eso? Hacer, no quiero decir penitencia, pero sino hacer igualdad, a reparar el daño. Okay, which is what forgiveness is to put in, replace what was broken. You replace it and make everything new again, and like nothing ever happened. That's forgiveness. That's true forgiveness. So that's what you need to do. Así que nosotros tenemos que reemplazar lo que se rompió, las cosas que uno se sintió daño, que había daño, y uno mismo tiene que reparar aquel daño y para que sea nuevo y nunca más recordar de esas cosas, sino proseguir. And so these are things, again, in all of these things, the key is get help when you need it. And most of you will need it because it's a very delicate situation. La mayoría de ustedes van a necesitar ayuda en esos momentos. Y la familia necesita una terapeuta que sepa bregar con este asunto. Y entonces, para que la familia tenga recuperación y restauración de las relaciones familiares. Eso es muy importante. No lo menosprecie. No lo menosprecie porque lo está menospreciando la familia. So don't put it down. Don't make it a small thing or a little thing to get professional help, because you really do need to restore the family relationship. Okay, these things are very, very delicate, like I said, very delicate. I can't help everyone on the planet. I'm doing my best with what we're teaching here and those who communicate directly with me, but I just can't handle everybody on the planet. But yeah, whatever the Lord puts at your disposition, there's many professionals who are able to help you in this matter. So I urge you to seek professional help. Así que hay muchos profesionales. Yo quisiera ayudarlos a todos. Estoy haciendo estos programas para una ayuda, pero en la mayoría de casos tendrán que buscar ayuda profesional porque es un asunto delicado, pero debe de hacerlo. So, le estoy haciendo la urgencia que no lo menosprecia, busca la ayuda profesional y salva a tu familia. Save your family, porque eso salva la humanidad, because that will save humanity. Okay, let's look into now, since we discussed a little bit of the family and the relational thing, let's go into more now into what God and the Bible establishes so that we can have a better understanding why this whole phenomenon is happening. So let's go first to Genesis 1:28. Vamos a ir primeramente ahora a Génesis 1:28. And with that, I'm going to tell you, y con esto le digo que, que Dios, Génesis 1:1, recordando que Dios hizo los cielos y la tierra. I'm going to remind you that God created the heavens and the earth. And why I keep repeating this is to make sure that you understand that even if and there's many of you may not believe in God, so it doesn't matter really, because whatever created stuff created stuff in a certain way. So we have to understand that there's a way that things work in the heavens and the earth. Hay que entender que aunque uno sea ateo, cree en Dios o que no hay Dios, no importa, hay un principio de todas las cosas y las cosas están hechas de una forma. It's really importante que entendamos eso. It's really important that we understand that. Things have a form, things have a purpose. Las cosas tienen forma, las cosas tienen propósito. ¿Okay? Y así mismo como la familia, la relación familiar debe respetarse in all ways. And likely that the family's interrelationships have to be respected in all ways and in all forms. The heavens and the earth also should be respected in like manner in the ways and forms that it has and its purposes. So, así que también la naturaleza se debe respetar en la forma y las maneras que tiene, los propósitos. Genesis 1:28, Genesis 1:28, it says that, and God blessed them, having had created them, right? And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. En español dirá que Dios le dijo a ellos, sed fructífero y multiplicaos y llenad la tierra. Okay, so ¿qué es lo que Dios está diciendo? Why is God telling these guys to be fruitful? And this is the thing that you have to understand. Estas son cosas que hay que entenderlas claramente. And this is where all the problem begins, actually. Okay? It wasn't a problem, of course, when God said it. Cuando Dios dijo sed fructíferos y multiplicados, no era un problema. ¿Por qué? Porque no había pecado. Because there was no sin at the time. And when God told man, it was just right after God created man, and then he tells him, hey, have sex. have sex and replenish the earth. Okay, not just have sex. He said have sex like mad. Okay, now we're talking now. That's what the adult talking. Él dijo, Dios le dijo no, tener sexo y llenar la tierra. Okay, no solo está infiriendo tener sexo, sino tener sexo como loco y llenar la tierra. Y le voy a explicar por qué. And I'm going to explain to you why that is. Because think of it for yourself. Do you need God to tell you to have sex? To have it? And anyone here listening to me, did you wait for God to tell you to have sex? To have it? Así que cualquiera que me pueda escuchar ahora, usted esperó que Dios te dijera, tenga sexo, para que tú tuvieses sexo. ¿Sí? You had it. You took it. Right? You didn't need God to tell you, yeah, have sex. Yeah. God made man. Why would God tell him, hey, have sex? ¿Por qué Dios diría al hombre que Dios hizo al hombre? Mira, tenga sexo. Right? So you have to think about that. You don't need to do that, right? You don't need God to tell you, because you've been doing it even with God not telling you. Y'all know what? Ustedes han tenido sexo sin que Dios te diga, hey, tenga sexo. ¿No entiendes lo que estoy diciendo? ¿Por qué crees que cuando Dios hizo a Adán y a Eva, que Él tuvo que decirles, tengan sexo? ¿Sí? Because obviously it was something more than just having sex, just saying have sex. Era más que solamente decir tengan sexo. The point, the impetus of what God is saying is to multiply and fill the earth. See, it's not just having sex. It's multiplying and filling the earth. No era el asunto de tener sexo nada más. Era el asunto de multiplicaos y llenar la tierra. Right? So that was the impetus. It was God was giving more than just sex to man, but he was giving the drive for sex to man. Estaba dando Dios no solamente sexo, pero sino el deseo, la urgencia de tener sexo al hombre. Okay? So, en los animales también le dio deseo, también le dio, nosotros llamamos calor, que el animal está en calor, que es un tiempo que los animales necesitan tener sexo, que tienen que tener sexo, tienen que, parir hijos, es una cosa que no pueden controlar. So, it's in the heat, and animals have what you call heat. Same thing. God told them to be fruitful. They get heat. And the heat, they cannot control themselves. They have to have sex. Things happen. Their physiology changes, right? You have those baboons, have this real big super you know what. And, I mean, it's like in your face. It's not like you can go to church with one of those chimpanzees and not just look at this giant, wonderful thing there. And that's the way God made it. The thing is that we have to understand, God made it that way. Nosotros tenemos que entender que Dios hizo eso así. Que hasta los monos se le crece, le infla a las mujeres sus miembros así, que son tan grandes como un melón ahí abajo. Dicen, aquí estoy, hello. You know, pero eso es lo que Dios hizo. Sed fructífero, multiplicaos y llenar la tierra. So we have to understand that sexual drive, sex and the thing, that thing like that is a very natural thing. Esto es algo muy natural. But it is something that God describes him adding to man. It wasn't that it was just something created in man just like that. It is something he added in, an extra thing. Like you put that little extra sugar. Okay? So, así que es algo que Dios añadió, porque Dios ya hizo el hombre. Ya lo hizo. El hombre ya fue hecho. Pero además Dios dice a él, dijo, sed frutífero, multiplicaos y llenad la tierra. Now, the reason for this, the reason I say that, la razón que digo eso, is because when God, because look at what God does. Now, you have to pay close attention, because some of you have missed, watch this. Look at what God does. Let's go to, let's see here. Let's go to Genesis 1 and just pay close attention to what goes on. See? It says, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. You want to pay close attention to that. And there's many things. It keeps going down. God said, God said, God said. Aquí dice que, y Dios dijo, en el verso 3 de Génesis 1, y Dios dijo, sea la luz, y fue la luz. Y sigue hablando Dios dijo, Dios dijo, y fue así. So what happens is that the Bible clearly establishes that when God says something, it happens. Something happens. Something is formed. Something's created to make what God said be what he said. Dios dice algo y se hace. Algo pasa, algo crece, algo se añade, algo se crea, que hace posible lo que Dios dijo. Dios dijo, sea la luz, y fue la luz. And we know that la luz es muchas cosas. We know that light, when he said, let there be light, all he said was, let there be light. We know that the light, like the light you see here, is only like 1%. It's less even, but 1% of everything that was created when he said, let there be light. You just have to understand that when God says something, a lot of things happen. Cuando Dios dice algo, ese sea la luz, es una cosita, una flechita nada más. Entre multitud de cosas que Dios creó cuando dijo solamente sea la luz. So you see that when God speaks, things happen, and a lot of things happen. Así que cuando Dios habla, cosas suceden, muchas cosas suceden. No solamente lo que dijo. See, that's the problem with like people. When they say, but God said, you got to be careful with that. Mucha gente dice, ese es el problema cuando la gente dice, Dios dice, la Biblia dice. Tú vas a decir lo que la Biblia dice, tienes que saber mucho, mijo. You have to know a lot of things for you to come and say, and the Bible says. You got to know a lot of things. Because when God speaks, a lot of things go on. And you would never know it with what he said. Usted nunca lo va a comprender de lo que dijo. Dijo sea la luz. I got a lot of people tied around the barrel with this one. Absolutely, because they really think they know what the Bible says. Really? Mucha gente creen que dicen, saben lo que la Biblia dice. Y yo digo, verdad. Porque hay que saber mucho. So, basically is this. When God created man, he added to man a high sexual drive. Él añadió al hombre un deseo sexual muy alta. And that's in the brain, right? Eso está en la cabeza. So God created man and he told man to have a lot of sex, mucho sexo, llenar la tierra, fill the earth. What happened? ¿Qué pasó? And what happened was that just like he made the heavens and the earth. Now remember, How did he make the heavens and earth? ¿Cómo fue que Dios hizo los cielos y la tierra? Because believe it or what, the first text, the first verse of the Bible give you the key for the rest of it. So you can understand the way things are. Los primeros versos de la Biblia te dan la clave de todo el resto, ahí mismo en los primeros versos. How did God create the heavens and the earth? What is the characteristic of the heavens and the earth? What is it? Where are we in the heavens? What is the heavens? And as we know that the heavens, ¿qué son los cielos? ¿Qué hay en los cielos? Sabemos que el cielo está el espacio, en la expansión. There's a space in heaven, right? In the sky, is space. And everything is just flying through space. Todas las cosas están volando en el espacio. And the other thing is, if you take a ball, si tú coges una bola, están en el espacio, and you throw the ball like that, what happens? Si tú tiras una bola así en el espacio, ¿qué sucede? It goes on and on and on and on. Esa bola sigue. Wow. Because space is a vacuum. El espacio es una, ¿cómo se llama eso en español? Un vacuum. I don't know how to say in Spanish. Es un vacío. No hay aire. So cualquier cosa que tú tires sigue, porque no hay nada en lo que es el espacio que lo impide. There's nothing to stop it. That's the way the universe is. Así está el universo. Now, there are things that have been created or in the universe that will impact, that can impact on that, right? But normalmente, aunque haya cosas que pueden impactar a aquella bolita que tú ves así en el espacio, no va a cambiar, ni va a ser menos de rápido, ni nada. Nada cambia si no sigue. It is a gigantic, massive, creative saliency of God. Es una expresión masiva de cómo Dios crea. What do I mean by that? It means that if God says something, just like the ball that's thrown in space, it's supposed to continue. That's the way God does things. He says something and it continues forever and ever and ever and ever. Así que cuando Dios hizo los cielos y la tierra, hizo una bolita. Si tú haces una bolita y lo tiras, esa bola sigue para toda la eternidad. Sigue, continúa. Es la naturaleza de lo que Dios creó. It's very important to understand that. Now that we know a lot more science than we did back then. Ahora que sabemos más de la ciencia que tuvimos allá en aquel entonces. So when God made man and he gave him this extra sexual drive, cuando Dios hizo al hombre, le dio este deseo más sexual para que llenase la tierra. Eso fue una bola tirada así. Okay. So this is the force of nature now that we call it. Es una fuerza de naturaleza que sigue. Okay. Now, the only way that can change or it's affected is if something else affects the forward momentum and the original voicing that set it into motion. Just like in the space, the only thing that can make that ball stop or turn or change is if something else interferes with the way it's going. Así que en el espacio, si otra cosa, si otro cuerpo interviene o interfiere con esta ruta que está tomando esta bolita, right? Y vamos a decir que hay un planeta aquí, una luna, va a tener gravedad. So, es lo único, entonces, algo que viene, otra cosa que viene y entonces trastorna la ruta de esa bola, es lo único. See, so when God created, I just showed them like the ball can go around like a moon. It'll be affected by the gravity well of a moon, of another body, right? Simply because it crosses close to its path. Then that's the only effect, only thing ever that could ever change anything about this ball that was set into motion back when. The same thing, when God says to man, be fruitful, multiply, everything was set perfectly, perfect, because that's perfection. Eso es la perfección, eso de tirar la bola y que sigue, que nada lo cambia, nada lo divierte, nada, es la perfección. Pero si algo viene y divierte, entonces ahí cambió las cosas. Then something changes it if something comes to interfere with it. So that's like a general law. It's like a basic law. Eso es una ley básica, una ley principal. When God told man to be fruitful and multiply, he didn't tell him, oh, this is your wife, do it with her, or this is your man, do it with him, or anything. He didn't have to say that. He didn't have to do anything there. The man discovered, this is bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. I'm going to call you Eve. I'm going to call you woman because you came out of me. Sí, el hombre vio a la mujer que era hueso de su hueso, carne de su carne, y dijo, tú eres mujer, y salió de mí, right? So, él no tenía que decirle nada. It's plain and simple. Set the ball in play, boom, send it on its way. La cosa que, cualquier cosa entonces, que viene a divertir esa bola, o en este caso, este mandato, va a cambiar lo original. So anything that comes to change in any way affected will change the original casting of this ball and of what God had said here. Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. So this is what we have to understand. Even if you don't believe in God, you have to understand that how did you get here? How did you come to be? Aunque tú no crees en Dios, tú tienes que pensar de dónde viniste, cómo llegaste a ser tú, tener vida. You have to there have to be simple realizations made. Okay, so we don't want to treat anyone like a kid or you don't have understanding. Obviously, man and a woman, because there's no other way. No hay otro modo. La naturaleza no tiene otro modo para los seres humanos de multiplicar y llenar la tierra, sino de que tengan sexo, hombre y mujer juntos. So there's no other way that nature, because again, you don't need to believe in God to understand that nature has provided no other means for the human race to continue to survive except by the coupling of a male and a female together. That is natural, that is biology, that is simple. That's 2 plus 2 equals 4. That's it, simple. Simple facts of life. You yourself, if you are homosexual, you would not be here if it wasn't for heterosexuality. You did not come to be by homosexual means. You came to exist by heterosexual means. So and we're not talking about having fun. We're not talking about, like having sex. We're talking about what nature dictates is the way man and is supposed to reproduce, or can. It's not supposed to because there's no other way. The way that man can reproduce is solely by the coupling of a male and a female, and and any animal for that matter, can only be through male and female copulation. That's it. We're not microorganisms. If we could split and multiply, it'd be a different thing, but we wouldn't be man. We would be something else. But as man, or as man in the general sense, man and woman, the only way we can reproduce is through copulation with the opposite sex, not the same sex. Okay? So we have to understand that that is the natural order, that is the natural rule. Esto es algo muy natural, que el hombre y la mujer se junten y entonces tengan hijos. Eso es el orden natural. All right. So, and also I need to say that I'm not talking any church right now. So that's for another lesson at the end of the, right before the summer. The last class I'm having is again the homosexual topic, but for the church, or about the church, with in relation with the church. But we're just dealing with family right now. So, hay que entender que estoy hablando de esto, no estoy hablando de la iglesia o la relación de la iglesia con homosexuales. Eso lo voy a tratar al último lección en junio, cuando termino esta primera segmento del año. Y entonces brego con la iglesia, pero ahora solo estamos hablando de relación en familia. All right, so we have to make that simple understanding of what the biological basis is and what is the natural basis. That's what has been established by nature or by God, if you believe in God. Si tú crees en Dios, esto fue establecido por Dios. Si tú crees en naturaleza, fue establecido por la naturaleza. No hay otro modo. There's no other way. So this is simple. Now, again, there needs to be an understanding of the difference between you understanding things and you going by feelings. Okay? Hay una diferencia entre yendo por lo que tú entiendes y yendo por los sentimientos. When God said, "Be fruitful," what God put into man was that drive, which is not intellectual, it's not using understanding. It had nothing to do with understanding. If God had not said that to Adam, he would have reasoned, well, how are we going to survive if, assuming he was going to die or they were getting older, and he said, how are we going to multiply ourselves? And I guess we'll have to do what the animals are doing. I see what the animals are doing, so I think we need to do that, Eve. Let's do that and see what happens, and we should be able to have a baby or two. Right? That's the intellectual way of looking. Si uno fuera intelectual, Adán y Eva, sin el mandato de Dios de llenar y llenar la tierra, hubiera pensado, mira, que cómo vamos a seguir después de nosotros, ¿quién viene? Mira, los animales están teniendo una relación ahí y después de un par de meses tienen hijos. Y así esos hijos se hacen grandes. Yo creo que eso es lo que debemos estar haciendo nosotros. ¿Qué cree Eva? Entonces, intelectualmente, Eva y Adán, es verdad, yo creo que tú estás verdad, Adán. ¿Qué propones? Pues vamos a meternos en la posición como hacen estos animales así, y vamos a hacer lo que están haciendo, y vamos a ver lo que pasa. So, and then he would have seen what happens. He would have had the experience, right, of what a copulation, because he's copying what the animals are doing. And then he said, well, that would be one animal, one child, two child. How many children would they have had? That's questionable. But usually, usualmente, ¿cuántos niños tuvieran? Intelectualmente, no muchos. If you're going by intellectuality, it wouldn't have been a lot. Because it would have been basically, what we can reasonably handle. at a given time, and depending on Eve and Adam, and he gets busy, doing his stuff. I don't have time for that. I don't have time. You know, wouldn't be as much as it would have been. I'm sorry, it wouldn't have been as much as it was, as it turned out to be, because of what God put in. God put in that emotional, that intenseness, that urgency into man. Dios puso en el hombre esa urgencia, esa intensidad, para hacer que el hombre siempre busque el sexo. So he made it so that man would always look to seek out for sexual pleasure. All right, that sexual drive. It's an inner drive. Not much. Is it part of the pleasure, but it's not the way you guys know it. We know it today because that's mixed in with a little sin, with some of the sin. So that kind of it messes it up a little bit. But it's the purity of the attraction, the purity of the sexual experience without the sinfulness, which is something that we don't know. Adam, it's questionable if Adam experienced it before the sin or after. We don't know that either. I believe that he did have a genuinely sinless copulation, or at least they started. But and it doesn't matter that he had this sinless copulation, because the sin was done, and that has nothing to do with sex. Just the disobedience to God was done before anyone was born. Because while the child is in the womb, it's part of the mother's body. Así que, and if the mother sinned, the child is under sin as well. Así que es posible que Adán tuvieron sexo en el jardín antes de cometer el pecado, porque aunque el bebé estuviese sin, como decir, sin el pecado de la copulación, estuvo presente en la madre. Fuera diferente si estuviera ya nacido, separado de la mamá. Pero como es parte del cuerpo de la madre, cuando ella pecó el niño también. El niño también está parte del cuerpo pecaminoso. All right? So that's the ruling thing about that. So it is possible, but for definitely after sin, that changed. All of that changed a lot. Changed significantly. So, in any case, en todo modo, el pecado ahora hizo corrupción. So sin coming into man because of his disobedience to God has made everything corrupt, including the sexual drive. After the sin of man, después del pecado del hombre, las cosas fueron muy distintas. How do we know that? We know that by what happened after. So let's look. Vamos a buscar en Génesis, what is it, 3? Yeah, Génesis 3. Vamos a buscar en Génesis 3 para que veamos el resultado del pecado, so that you can see very clearly what happens after sin. So, what happened after sin? And the Lord God said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly thou go. Because the serpent was walking before and also could talk, right? And dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. So the serpent lost its legs, lost its ability to speak. Believe it or not, the serpent spoke. It was a dinosaur, a speaking dinosaur. Yeah, I know. Write me about it. This dinosaur could speak in the Garden of Eden. Not all of them, but this one was the ancestor of the serpent. Okay, was able to speak. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head and shall bruise thy heel. Okay, then it says, and the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. These are things that happen after. So the nature of woman childbearing changed, the nature of the serpent changed, la naturaleza de la serpiente cambió después del pecado del hombre, la naturaleza de la mujer dando a luz, pariendo hijos también cambió, ahora tiene dolor. And Adam, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and has eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, Thou shalt not eat of it, cursed is the ground. So, la tierra fue condenada por culpa de Adán, y dice que thorns also and thistles shall they bring forth to thee. So, this wasn't there before. Nature changed. So thorns, thistles, these things became present after Adam's sin. And a lot of things changed in their natures. Even in Eve's nature changed, and Adam's nature had to change as well due to the sin. Ahora, por culpa del pecado, cambió la naturaleza, lo que Dios creó. La naturaleza que conocemos hoy día no es lo mismo que Dios creó primeramente. Cambió en maneras pequeñitas, pero significantes. La mujer da luz con dolor, el hombre sufre, o sea, la naturaleza, las hierbas cambiaron para también golpear al hombre mientras que el hombre está caminando a través de los lugares de árbol y cosas. Ahora, y los rosas tienen sus piquitos, todo para hacer como que el hombre sufra ahora por la naturaleza. La naturaleza haga al hombre sufrir. Tenemos los animales fieros ahora. Los animales ahora atacan a los hombres. So we had a lot of changes. The animals attacking man. We have the thorns and thistles in nature. And nature became an enemy to man, not a friend, not just a support, but actually very dangerous for man. And so that's a big change in nature itself. So nature changed, and man's nature changed quite a bit from the original. So la naturaleza también del hombre cambió. So how does that affect fill the earth, the sexual desire, right? The sexual drive. ¿Cómo fue que impactó el deseo sexual? Obviously, it had its own natural danger because remember, the ball is sent spinning, and as long as nothing is interfering with it, it will stay on course. But of course, now after sin, a lot of things impact and can impact the sexual drive. Muchas cosas ahora, después de pecado, impactan y pueden impactar el deseo sexual. So that it's like a ruler. You ever seen a ruler? ¿Has visto una regla? Y la regla tiene mucha línea. Well, all of those things, imagine, are things that can affect your sexual desire. Como una regla tiene todas esas flechitas, todas esas líneas. Imagínense que todo eso son cosas, cada uno en sí, cosas que pueden impactar el desarrollo sexual de una persona y la expresión sexual de esa persona. Así cambió mucho la naturaleza del hombre. So, man's desires and man's sexual proclivities were now exposed to so many elements and so many interferences, potential interferences. It's not funny. It's a landmine, a minefield. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's a minefield. So vino a ser un campo de mina, o sea, de las bombitas que esconden debajo de la tierra que uno va pisando y ¡pum! Ha sido un campo. El deseo sexual del hombre es un campo de esas bombas. Y el hombre mujer tiene que cuidar cómo camina porque si no, explota con esto, explota con el otro. Todas esas cosas impactan al hombre. So it's not one thing. It's too simplistic. It is complicated. Es bien complicado. And because of that, it's too complicated just to simplify it away. So I was born that way. It's really simplistic, man. That's just as bad as the guy saying God didn't make us this way. God made us this way. You're not saying anything, just contradicting what the other guy said. That's all you're doing. It's a very complicated scenario. Es un escenario muy complicado. Uno dice, Dios lo hizo así. El otro lado dice, yo nací así. Y los ambos campos son muy simples en su razonamiento. De una cosa, un asunto muy complicado. Muy complicado. Puede ser impactado por muchas cosas, right? But as a reminder, don't let that change your family relationship. No deja, como recordatorio, no deja que ninguna de esas cosas cambie la relación entre familias. Es muy importante. All right. So we have to understand that because now that you can understand, wait a minute, God made us sexually active, that we need to have sex. El hombre necesita tener sexo porque Dios hizo así esa necesidad. Pero ahora podemos ver que el pecado ha causado interferencia con lo natural y lo puro de Dios, que normalmente Dios lo disparó para allá y normalmente sigue allá hasta que algo interfiere, que Dios no hizo nada que no interfiera, pero el pecado introdujo cosas que interfieren. But since sin, God made it so that man can continue on without any interference, because there wasn't supposed to be any. Adam and Eve were supposed to obey God and not sin. But once they sinned, then they brought in a whole bunch of flack, things in the way that could easily deter what God had already put into place, because he put them into place and set them in motion, like the stars in heaven, like the planets, until something comes in the way that's not supposed to be there, everything's okay. So we have to understand that this is the way God made it. Nosotros tenemos que entender que Dios puso todo en moción y debe estar así hasta que llega algo que lo interfiere, pero Dios no hizo nada que lo interfiera. Pero el hombre sí hizo algo que lo interfiere, es el pecado, pecó contra Dios. Ahora hay muchas cosas que pueden interferir con el buen caminar sexual del hombre. All right? So, eso es lo que tenemos que entender. El homosexual tiene que entender eso. No es suficiente tú decir, esto es natural, yo nací así, porque hay gente que también por naturaleza nacen sin manos, sin brazos, sin piernas, sin cerebro. There's people who are born. I've heard this reasoning before. It says that I was born this way. See, I didn't choose to be this way. I was born this way. The thing is, you have to realize that when you say you were born a certain way, that it's natural. This is by nature. You also understand that nature, because of man's sin, because people ask this question too, why do people, God made man, why are people born, handicapped, without an arm, without a leg, without this, without that, whatever. And you see it here because of sin. Because of sin, either directly there are mutations, there are things that affect, or the environment, chemicals, radiation, smoking when you're pregnant, a lot of other bad things when you're pregnant, that you do to yourself even during your life, affect the child that will eventually come out that womb. Okay? That's natural too. These are natural chemicals. What they're doing in your body, but it's natural. You were born that way, weren't you? I mean, the child that's born without arms can say, I was born this way. They're not lying. That's right. They were born that way. Now, you're supposed to be born that way? That's another question, isn't it? Así que si tú estás supuesto ser nacido así, es otra cosa. Si el hombre, hay muchos nacen sin brazos, ¿está supuesto nacer así? Aunque nacieron así, te pueden decirlo. Yo nací así, es verdad. Pero la pregunta es si están supuestos ser así. So, again, now, let's go back to the family relations. If you have a child born that way, without arms, are they not your child still? Si el niño sale sin brazos de la matriz, no sigue siendo su hijo o su hija. No lo amas. Don't you love them still? Yeah, you understand? So it's the same thing. So yeah, even if the child is born, destined to be a homosexual. Si el niño nace destinado para ser un homosexual, no lo vas a amar aún, no es su hijo aún, no es su hija. Yeah, that's the question you guys got to deal with. Remember that. Hay que recordar lo mismo. Lo mismo. Recuerda, especially if you're Christian, si tú eres cristiano, tú debes entender sobre todo este mundo. Okay, el pecado entró por Adán y Eva. That's it. Stop with the craziness already. The sin came in through Adam and Eve. If you're a Christian, let's stop this madness already. Sin came in through Adam and Eve, all right? Everything goes, baby. Everything. Because that's the sinful effects of sinning against God. It's just as simple as that. So how are you going to now blame the Adam's fault on your kids? I have no idea. It's like the kids I've adopted. They have their issues. Okay, they're going to maintain their privacy. But yeah, they have some issues. Okay, not related to this. So, but they have their own issues, right? Am I going to blame them? Is it their fault? ¿Es el problema, es culpa de ellos? ¿De la situación en que ellos nacieron? ¿Cómo voy a culparle a ellos? Sería injusto. It would be unjust for me to blame them and hold it against them what other people did. Lo que otros hicieron, ¿cómo lo voy a culpar a estos? You understand that? So yeah, it hurts. It duele. Pero vamos a hacer las cosas bien. Let's do the things the right way. And let's, again, preserve the family. Preservar la familia. Okay, so what should we be doing? ¿Qué debemos de estar haciendo? Educar. Educate. This is things that should have been taught while your children were growing up. Okay. Now, for one reason or another, many people are not teaching. Por alguna razón u otra, mucha gente no están enseñando lo que debe estar enseñando a sus hijos. Los hijos, esto aquí, hoy día, I want to tell you, 7 años de edad, ya en la escuela, porque no de nosotros, pero en la escuela tienen sus teléfonos. Yo fui a la escuela sin teléfono 7 años. I don't know what you guys are giving your kids home, folks. No idea. Y allá en la escuela le están enseñando Snapchat. ¿Sí? Now, I've been around. I know what you guys see on Snapchat. Inappropriate. Estos son 7 años de edad y están exponiéndose a cosas en Snapchat. Okay, and not that I know, I don't have Snapchat. I've never used it, but I read. I read things. So I read what goes on certain Snapchat profiles. Yo leo lo que están haciendo en los teléfonos y en los Snapchats. Y sus hijos aquí, 7 años de edad, 7 añitos. Y en la escuela él ha visto Snapchat. No que él ha visto esas cosas, pero está ahí cerca, ¿no? ¿Qué más? Los padres tienen que educar a sus hijos. You guys gotta teach your kids, and you have to teach them early. Don't wait till you have a problem. No espera que haya un problema. Empieza ya, 7 años, mijo. I can tell you right now. That's it. 7, you get to 7, it's time. It's time, because there's other crazies out there. They're already through the loop, if you get my meaning. Hay otros locos por ahí que ya a los 7 años ya están metidos en el lupo, si entiende lo que quiero decir. Usted tiene que proteger sus hijos. You have to protect your children through education. a través de la educación. And what is your role as a parent? ¿Cuál es su papel como padre? Su papel como padre es educarlos. Your role as a parent is to teach them. It's up to them. What is the role as a child? Is to graduate, is to learn, is to progress. That's on you. That's not on your mother or your father. Eso no está en nosotros los padres, el triunfo o el fracaso de los hijos, pero es sobre nosotros la educación de ellos. Ahora que ellos escogen bien o mal, eso está en ellos. If they choose good or they choose bad, that's on them. But it's our role and our job to educate. They can't say that they weren't warned that this happens like this and it ends up like that. No puede ser que ellos no fueron avisados que empieza así y termina así. Eso nunca debe suceder. Los hijos de uno deben entender los principios, cómo suceden y empezaron las cosas y cómo terminan and how they end. And the beginning of things, their origins, and how they end up. So these things should be understood by every child before they get into their teenage years. So they need to be understanding, wait a minute, the right decisions will result in the good results. The wrong decisions are going to get me stuck someplace because, that's basically what life is. You either progress or you get stuck. La vida es progresar o te queda estoqueado. And the kids don't want to get stuck. They want to keep moving on. So then, they need to learn to do the right over the wrong thing and to distinguish the two. Los niños tienen que aprender a hacer lo bueno sobre lo malo. O sea, en vez de lo malo. Saber qué es bueno y qué es malo. Y entonces de escoger lo bueno. Eso es sencillo. That's what you're hoping to see. That's what you're training them to do. That's why you get angry at them. Like that. That's the wrong decision. ¿Sí? Eso fue la decisión malo. No haga eso. Eso ahí es cuando tú debes tener la cara así, de enojado. Pero no es que tú eres enojado. It's all right as a father or mother to get disappointed, though. See that face? Like, that's my face. It's almost of hurt, personal hurt. Es un rostro de dolor personal. Y la palabra en español se me escapa cuando uno se siente que la persona que es desafortunado, desafortunadamente. Tú te sientes como, no sé si defraudado es la palabra correcta, pero así. Ay, qué pena que escogiste mal. You understand? Si tú tienes la relación correcta con if you have the correct relationship with your child should be impacted by that. That should be enough to have your child, like freak out within themselves. To have, I made dad sad with me. See, that's where you have to be. Where the child feels that he's made you sad, that he has failed you. Cuando el niño siente que te ha fallado. Sí, eso es lo que tiene que estar desarrollando desde su niñez. This is what you need to be developing as they're growing up as children. Yeah, I disappointed mom. I disappointed dad. I let my sister down. I let my brother down. I let my family down. Yo dejé, ¿cómo se dice en español, no? Entristecí mi madre, entristecí mi padre, a mis hermanos, a mi familia. Lo dejé así como, ¿sabes? No sé la palabra en español, pero quiere decir que, ellos estaban esperando más de mí y lo dejé, vacío las manos, tú sabes, o sea, con las ganas. Y ellos deben de sentirse mal. That's really the level that you need to be at with your children. Eso debe ser el nivel que debe tener con sus hijos. As a matter of fact, with the whole family, con toda la familia, de se relaciona, que it's a disappointment. I'm disappointed. You see? Porque uno quiere estimar a los hijos que traigan valor al nombre de la familia, ¿verdad? Let them bring a good name to our family. So it's an issue of disappointing the family. Es un asunto de descararnos, de traer bajo el rostro de su familia, de avergonzarlos. Los chinos tienen esto, by the way. The Chinese use this a lot. It's basically part of their culture where the family, the children have to bring honor to the parents. It's in the Torah. It's in the Ten Commandments, after all, also. En la Torah dice también que el hijo honra a su padre y su madre. Los chinos también muy fuertes en esta necesidad de los hijos honrar a la familia, de traer honra a la familia y no avergonzarlos. ¿Sí? So again, this is where you need to be. And need to always say, it's never a personal thing. Nunca es algo personal. Nunca es algo de fastidio, de enojo. It's never something of being totally upset, taking it personally. You get personally heated and upset at something. It should always be that you let the family down. And it's not something you say either. They should know it. They should just automatically know it, just with your face. That's that. And that's really where you need to go. There's no need for any physical action. No hay necesidad de acción física, ni siquiera. Right? So this has to be honed from the beginning. From the beginning is where you shape this communication. It's a communication. And that's the basis of the interrelationships of a family. Es el base de la interrelación entre familia. Es la comunicación. And everything is communication, right? Todo es comunicación, aún el rostro. It's communication. See that? So they need to know, the children need to know by your face what's up. Yeah. You don't need to lay a hand on them. Tú no necesitas meterle mano. Solo con ver tu rostro saben si está bien o si está mal. And that's really where you have to get this thing. And then hopefully, if they have the capacity, esperamos que si tengan la capacidad sus hijos, pueden entender lo que es bueno y lo que es malo. They can learn what is good and what is not good. A lot of things are being done today to weaken the knowledge or the ability for people to understand what is good and what is wrong, what is bad. Okay, so that we are running out of time today. What I'm going to do is next week we'll continue on this topic. We're going to go to part 2, we'll call it part 2. La semana que viene vamos a hacerle parte 2 de este tema. Y vamos a hablar sobre los sociopolíticos. So next week I'm going to go into the social political realities that are impacting this problem of dealing with the homosexual in the family. Right today, con lo que he enseñado hoy, es suficiente para ustedes salvar intacto su familia con integridad y con validez. So I've given you enough to maintain your family or restore your family relationships with integrity and validity. Okay? And that's the main thing because that's your source of truth. That's the source of validity. And without it, everything's lost. So you don't want to do that. If you want to have validity, then let validity be the rule of the game. And that means I am your father. You are my son. I am your mother. You are my daughter. And vice versa. And I'm your brother. I am your sister. This has to be absolutely preserved, no matter what. No matter what. Okay? Everything else is a teaching, it's an education. Absolutely. And whatever they didn't learn, they made a mistake before, they're going to learn it now in life. I mean, depending on the ages, of course, dependiendo de la edad de sus hijos, determina mucho lo que cómo usted prosiga. Pero lo inicial de lo que se aprendió es preservar la familia íntegro. Y la relación es algo que no se puede cambiar, chicos. You know, the relationship between family members is something that cannot be changed. It is what it is. So let us not create this lie just to satisfy your anger and assuage your anger and like to hit back at the other person. Don't use your relationship for that. No use su relación para dar golpe con el otro, para demostrar su enojo con lo que hizo. Don't use that. It's not right. And you're twisting the truth. Don't do that. No trastorna la verdad para dar choque contra la otra persona. Es su familia. They always will be. True knowledge, truth, always overcomes all the other stuff. La verdad siempre sobrepasa y conquista todo lo demás cosas. And that's that. Love conquers all. El amor conquista todo. See you guys next week.